Went from condos to Pop's house. On calls now bus routes.
All right, what's up, N2S family? So we have Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis. How many of you remember Ray Lewis? Probably at least top 3 defensive middle linebacker of all time. I mean, remember, you know, his little, every time he'd get a sack. How many of you remember Ray Lewis? Hey, man, you all love to look up things on YouTube, right? Go look up Ray Lewis clips. Man, you know, it's 2 people who, when I was a kid, it's 2 people who dances I used to copy. No, three. I'll say one of them was Jamal Anderson doing the Dirty Bird. You know, no, my bad. That's Dion. You got the Dirty Bird. You got Dion with the little step. You know what I'm saying? And then you got Ray Lewis, you know, little dance, you know? Those are 3 people, 3 NFL players who knew how to entertain. Deion Sanders, and I'm talking about Cowboys Deion Sanders. Jamal Anderson, and I'm talking about Atlanta Falcons Jamal Anderson, Dirty Bird. And then you have Ray Lewis. Very entertaining players. But yeah, so we got Ray Lewis. And Ray Lewis, he kind of came at Shannon Sharpe. He basically did an interview and he said, look, he didn't just say Shannon Sharpe is, quote unquote, a little bit clout chasing. He said that Shannon Sharpe is following the devil. The devil is making him do the things that he's doing on his podcast. He's being led by the devil. Don't take my word for it. We'll go to the interview. So let's listen to what Ray Lewis had to say, and then we'll come back and talk about it. This was the stuff I want to point out too. Ray Lewis and Shannon Sharpe was really cool. They won rings together. Yeah, with the Ravens. So they went to the top of the mountaintop with each other. And as far as I know, from Ray Lewis in past interviews and Shannon Sharpe, they were always cool, right? But Ray Lewis, who I know is a God-fearing man, he's putting it out there and he's saying, nah, you know, I love the guy, but something ain't right. So let's go on and listen to my bad. So yeah, let's go on and listen to what Ray Lewis had to say.
Shannon Sharpe, did you think he was one day going to be a good TV guy personality?
Yeah.
So you knew he was made for TV?
Yeah.
And would he say he's going to do it?
Yes, he had already started prepping.
How much before he retired did he tell?
He'd been started.
Oh, so he's known he's going to be doing that.
Yeah.
So you're not surprised by the success he's having with his podcast and TV and
no.
him and Skip and Stephen A, all that stuff?
No, I'm not surprised. I'm shocked at his content. I wouldn't, in a million years, the things that Shannon has said now or did now, I would never believe that Shannon will say or do any of this.
Like what?
Simply, I take drinking. Shannon, in my entire career, I've never saw Shannon with a drink. Ever. Like it was against the law, right? Because he had some stuff in his family that he didn't want to follow that. And then so I kind of started to watch him, and then we kind of went our own separate ways because I'm like, you're going to take that route. I can't go that route. Never can go that route. And that route is to become so worldly that you become popular because you're talking about ignorance, right? A lot of times, a lot of these gossip conversations that they're having and bringing up all this stuff, I'm not going to do that to nobody. I'm not in the business for that. I'm in life to try to teach people what does it mean to be a better man or get back to the kingdom, you know? And a lot of times, a lot of the guys get in trouble with these podcasts and things, man, because everybody wants the follower. everybody wants to be popular. Everybody wants to make money. But that's a tight rope into what you call influence and popularity. Right? The devil has the ability to make you popular. God has the ability to give you influence, that when people see you, they see an image of him. And that's the thing for me that started to switch with not just Shannon, but just a couple of people. I'm like, wow, you would switch out like that? Really? And I would never, ever. Why? Because of the respect that I have for my mother, my daughters, my granddaughters, life, period. Like, and I think men, given these new platforms, we've overrode what the platform is actually for. The platform is supposed to help somebody find a new direction. We don't help. Everybody just gets on. Like, everybody's talking now. Everybody got a podcast. Everybody's the new marriage coach. Everybody's the new relationship coach. And ain't nobody coaching themselves. Because if you were coaching yourself, when it says power of life and death is found in the tongue, then go back and check out a couple of episodes and ask yourself, do you give life or do you give death? And that's why, me personally, I kind of do my own thing, stay in my own lane. Yeah.
When you saw I'm sure you saw this incident, OnlyFans, the 19-year-old girl, 50 million, ESPN, all this stuff that happened. Did you and him at all speak? Did you reach out? Did he reach out to you for counsel or?
No, I didn't. We don't have that relationship like that. You know what I'm saying? When I was younger, we had that relationship. But, you know, Shannon just kind of did some really awkward things, right? And I told him years ago when we was doing TV together, some stuff came up. And I said, bro, you know me. I'm the last one to get in anything, bro. But for you to do that, yeah. I wouldn't trust you again, period, you know, because that's a brother don't do the stuff he done, you know what I'm saying? Like, no brother does that to a brother.
Powerful. Look, man, a lot of people may listen to some of the things that Ray Lewis said and may look at it and say, hey man, Ray Lewis is hating. He hating on Shannon Sharpe. Nah, let me tell y'all this. Let me speak on something. See, when people are speaking facts that is connected to the word, if you don't understand the word, you're going to look at it or hear someone and say, that's hating. Or, oh, you just don't want me to live. Or you don't want me to make it. Or why you coming at me like that? When you don't understand the word, those are the directions that you come in, right? Because most of the things that Ray Lewis was saying outside of his mouth was connected to the scripture. See, when you are living by faith and when you're living a Christ-like life, you cannot live being conformed to this world. That's why it says in the Bible, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. You have to live differently. The words that come out of your mouth is going to be different. The things that you do is going to be different. The way that you live is going to be different. That's why when it comes down to people who are following Christ, they don't have to tell you they're following Christ. You're going to know because they're going to speak on it, right? But you're going to see how they live. Because when you are a true believer and you're really following Christ, the way that you move is very different than other people. The words that come out of your mouth is very different than other people. So with me listening to Ray Lewis, I'm like, nah, nothing that he's saying is hating because he knows Shannon Sharpe personally. One thing that I could tell is Ray Lewis is very connected to God and he's in his word. Like he said, he is focused on leading others to the kingdom. My. When he said that, I'm like, wow, that's what it's about. He saw his brother, Shannon Sharpe, do certain things that is showing he's fully invested in the world. Like he said, things like drinking, the smoking. trying to overdo things on social media, right? Not being himself. And I get it when it comes down to social media and TV. You want to entertain. So a lot of things that you do and say is not really you. You're not acting like that when the camera's cut off. But Ray Lewis is keeping it real. He's saying, hey, a lot of things that I see Shannon doing, Shannon never did none of this. This isn't who Shannon Sharpe is. And Ray Lewis is looking at it like, what is it to gain the whole world but to lose your soul? A lot of things that he sees Shannon Sharpe doing right now, he's like, yeah, you gaining a lot of things in this world. But the man that I once knew, I could tell you losing your soul. I think Shannon Sharpe should look at this and maybe analyze some of the things that he's doing in his life. Because I've, listened closely to Shannon Sharpe's podcast and heard certain things that he has said. And some of the things that he say, I'm like, okay, it sounds like you a believer, Shannon. I don't really know because he don't speak on the faith consistently. But there are some things that Shannon Sharpe say that I'm like, okay, he may be a believer. But I hope that Shannon Sharpe listened to Ray Lewis and utilize it as something that can help him in his own everyday life. Look at the things that he's going through. Everybody needs someone. I saw Shannon Sharpe on his podcast talk about, an event, and he just started bursting into tears. And I'm not saying that because what he was talking about wasn't a reason for him to burst into tears, but the way that I seen him burst into tears, to me, was in a way to where he's going through a lot. I could see it in him. He was dealing with other things outside of what he was talking about. See, a lot of times people think, hey, if I get $1 million, I'll be good. I'll be straight out here. I don't need nothing. Just give me a couple of mil. Right? Not understanding that money cannot heal the wounds that's going on in your heart. Money cannot heal the mind. It can't heal the body. The only thing that could do that, honestly, is the word. See, you hear a lot of celebrities say a lot of times, man, I got everything, but it feels like something is missing. Unless you're connected to God and you're in your word and you're in those scriptures, you're going to always feel like something is missing. You can always feel like something is missing. So I would love for Shannon Sharpe to listen to this and not get offended, not take it the wrong way. Look at it like, you know what, Ray Lewis is my brother. He's not going to say something like that unless he really mean it and I matter to him. So instead of just reacting and responding, let me take a step back and analyze what he said. And maybe I could take some things from what he said and utilize it in my life. That's wisdom. If Shannon Sharpe do that, I believe he'll be taking steps in the right direction. But outside of Shannon Sharpe family, who knows him best outside of Ray Lewis? Who know him best? Come on. These are people he was around since he was in his late teens, early 20s. Until his 40s going into now 50s. These men have always known Shannon Sharpe. So when you have someone who is a man of God speaking on you, when you're on your rise or you're out here doing great things in the eyes of the world, and they're saying certain things as a man of God that you could utilize in a way to get closer to God, you should listen. Don't look at it as hate. Everything is not hate, people. Men, everything is not hate. Saying that, hey, you taking the wrong direction in life, you doing the wrong thing, all money isn't good money, that's not hate. If you continue to look at things everything is hate, you're not going to grow in life. You shouldn't want just yes men around you. You should want men around you who's going to tell you the truth, who's not going to lie to you. Ray Lewis, you could tell he not here to lie to Shannon Sharpe. You living your life on TV. Everybody know Ray Lewis, so I'm going to speak it here because this is where you're going to hear me clearly. We could talk about it off camera too, but I'm going to speak it here as well because I'm trying to get your attention. God allow things for certain reasons. Everything is not hate. Hopefully, this gets Shannon Sharpe attention. And he changed some of his ways. And if anything, get closer to God. Because if this is coming from his brother who he loved, he's saying it for a reason. You know? But, hey, man, please understand everything isn't hate. Please understand it. That's something that I really want y'all to take from this video. Everything is not hate. If you have wise men around you, men of God, men who you respect, listen to what they're saying because it may change your life. That's wisdom. Even if you just sit back and listen. That's how I was able to grow. I started listening. When I wasn't listening, I wasn't going nowhere. But when I started to listen, I started to grow in life.
I had to show 'em that I wasn't made.